Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to film a drugstore tutorial. Not a tutorial, but more like things I love from the drugstore, and I will do a semi-tutorial to finish the face, to go on with the day with a full face of drugstore products that I really love. And let's get started with the tutorial. So I have skincare on my skin right now, but I haven't put on anything other than moisturizer and other serums, and we will start with a sunscreen, which is the Cetaphil Derma Control sunscreen. I really love this. This is a really lightweight sunscreen. It's not tacky. It leaves your skin a slightly matte finish. It's not drying, it's hydrating, and I really like this sunscreen. It's 25 SPF. I think it's 30 in other countries, I don't know, but in Australia the labeling is slightly different because of they have stricter control over sunscreen, and you should be wearing SPF 30 every day, and I'll be using this. I use this on a daily basis, and it's a really nice kind of a sunscreen that you can put it under your base and it doesn't disrupt anything. So take a really liberal amount of sunscreen, and I will apply this for face and neck. Everyone should have a sunscreen on a daily basis. I like mineral based one as well, but currently I'm using a chemical based sunscreen. So it's not really shiny. It doesn't give you a beaming glow with this. Some sunscreen does leave a very oily residue on your skin. If you don't like these, this one is definitely the one to choose. The next step is the L primer that everyone talks about a few months ago. I really like this primer. This primer definitely does help control oil, does smooth the skin, and leaves a really beautiful canvas on the skin. So I will dot this all over the skin. Not a lot of drugstore have group primers, and I don't usually use oil controlling primers unless they're really soft on the skin. They don't suck in all the oil. They leave your skin a really smooth canvas, and then slightly have a soft matte finish where it hydrates the skin at the same time but does leave a matte finish on the skin, and this one does that, and I love it for that. So after priming the skin, we will go to our foundation, and this one is the Infallible Total Coverage from L'Oreal. I'm using the shade Golden Beige. This one is a matte foundation, but it doesn't dry your skin. You can feel that it's matte, but it doesn't crack on your skin. It doesn't have leave you with very dry spots. This doesn't cling to dry spots. One thing that I have to tell you that is, don't cry with this or don't drool with this, because this will melt right off your skin. But other than that, I really love this a little goes a really long way. And this one isn't the easiest foundation to use, but it's a very long wearing foundation. I'll be using a flat brush, and then just draw it on the skin. I would recommend that you first paint on using a flat brush, and then use a sponge to finish. I like the finish of this because this one definitely does mattify the skin, but it doesn't dry out the skin. It doesn't have like alcohol in the product that helps with like the dry down, so it doesn't have that dry down texture, but it does cover the skin. It does have a matte finish. And you can build this up on where you need extra coverage. I usually build this up around my nose area, around my mouth area, and around this area where I have like a lot of breakout. This has a really creamy texture, which certainly is a plus. After I finish with a brush, I will go over with a sponge to just slightly smooth out everything else before we go through with other products. Some people say this is a really difficult like foundation to blend. I disagree in some aspect. Just don't use a sponge to blend this out. Just use a brush. Don't use a buffing brush. Use something that have a flat side, and then just like paint it through, and then use a sponge to smooth out the finish. I've worn this previously, and this definitely does stay on a long period of time. I've worn this for like over 8 hours, and it stays how it looks. Some place will rub off because I'm wearing glasses, and if you don't wear glasses, it doesn't rub off. If you don't have like runny eyes, it won't like drip off. If you have runny eyes, I might suggest you don't use that. But I really like this. And the next step is to conceal and highlight. I'm using the Revlon Candid Photo Ready concealer in the shade Creme Brulee 25. This is a really watery concealer, I consider, and it does bring in a lot of light. And this is a really comfortable kind of a concealer to wear. Some concealer are not as comfortable to wear, they're really dry. Some of them stay too creamy. This one does not do that. This one just dries really beautifully, and it has a really nice texture. To set the face, a lot of people rave the Fit Me powder, and I know why this is really great. I understand why, because this powder is really beautifully milled, and it does set the face really nicely, and it doesn't feel dry. The texture of the powder is really nice. It's really velvety and soft, where it some powder just feel really dry and it doesn't give you like that like velvety matte kind of like a texture when you set the skin. This one does. I'll be using a sponge to set the under eyes. Just press it in. This powder definitely has some tint in it and it does brighten up my under eyes, but it's fine. And then I will use a bigger brush to just sweep it all over the skin. You don't need a lot to set the whole face with this because this a little goes a long way, and especially if you have dry skin, you can skip this step. It's summer here, so I want to like set this in place to prevent it from melting off my skin. The next step is the Maybelline City Bronzer. I'm using the shade Deep Cool. This one is a really nice kind of bronzer, which it's more red than yellow than other bronzer that I own, and it's really nice kind of like bronzer. It definitely like brings a lot of warmth to the face. A little goes a long way with this. This one is less creamy, more on the powdery side than other bronzer that I've used, but I like this bronzer. I don't have any blush that's from the drugstore that I like, so I'll be using the Genuine blush instead. I don't have like any eye product that I'm really loving in the moment from the drugstore, except for this Maybelline Pump Up Colossal Volume Express mascara, which it beats the super size from CoverGirl. If you really like CoverGirl, I think they have like another version of like mascara that's better than that one. But I'm loving this one. It brings in a lot of volume, a lot of length, and it really defines my eyes. And I will prime my eyes with the Fenty eye primer, which I know it's weird that I finish mascara before I prime my eyes. So I will highlight my skin and highlight my eyes using the Master Chrome from Maybelline, and I'm using the shade Molten Gold. This one, really beautiful highlight. It's smooth. It's like it's really metallic, really nice. I'm just doing crazy highlight today. I'm just really casually putting on makeup. And just slightly set the face with the ColourPop hydrating mist. Definitely not the best setting spray that I've tried in terms of setting, but this is a really good like kind of like rescuing, hydrating, like a toner kind of like mist that I will use. And then I will use the fingers, my fingers, not the fingers, just to apply some here in the inner corners, and then I will use a brush and then use the bronzer to deepen up the crease. Like I really like shimmer crease. This is like my staple kind of look because this is simple, easy, and you don't need a lot of product. You just need a highlight and a bronzer, and then you're good to go. Or you can use like those kind of like duo, like the blush duo from Too Faced, or if you have any like duos that have like a matte bronzer and then you have like a shimmer, or you can use like both shimmers. It will make your eyes look really brighten up. The last step is just to fill in the brows. It's not from drugstore, I know. It's the Dip Brow Gel. Even there are products that are not from the drugstore. Definitely the products that are from the drugstore that I've mentioned are top notch, great quality, and I approve those kind of products. So I don't try a lot of drugstore products. One reason being is that L'Oreal, Maybelline, or CoverGirl, they don't come in my shade, or my shade, it's the kind of like the last shade, but the undertone is way off, it's way too red. This one is like my kind of like undertone, so it's really lucky that I get to try some of the products. And I don't know why I struggle to find the shade. I'm not really that dark. Some people are darker than me in Australia, some people are darker than me in Hong Kong, but I am the darker shade, or I'm the next shade up from the darker shade. And I don't know, I don't understand why it's that. So that's why I don't try a lot of drugstore products, because they don't come in my shade and where I live. So if you have any like suggestion for like drugstore or drugstore equivalent kind of like products, please comment down below and tell me what you like. Please like the video, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and click the bell notification for more videos. I will see you in the next video. Bye.